Welcome into Titans Today. I am your host, Brett Alper, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about mock drafts and why. We've done a whole bunch of mock drafts, but the main one, the main ESPN guy, this guy, Mel Kiper, he dropped his final 2025 NFL mock draft, and we're going to go over the first two rounds for the Tennessee Titans. But first, I got to ask you guys to subscribe. We are just 14 days away, 2 weeks, until we'll be hearing Roger Goodell saying, with the first pick, the Tennessee Titans select, I won't say it yet, but for all Titans coverage leading up to the NFL draft, hit that big red sub button and subscribe to the channel so we can grow and get bigger and bigger. Okay, let's go over the first 3 picks because we obviously have Tennessee, but I'll give you guys the next 2. We have Cam Ward, number 1, obvious. Travis Hunter going number 2 to Cleveland, and then Abdul Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State, going to the New York Giants at number 3 overall. And it's clearly and obvious for everybody. I don't think there's a single mock draft out there at this point that doesn't have Cam Ward going number 1 to the Tennessee Titans. This is my pick. This is everybody's pick. I love the pick. The Titans finally get their quarterback. And who are they getting? Well, a guy coming out of Miami who had an absolute amazing 2024, 4,300 yards, 67% completion percentage, only 7 interceptions. And this is what Mel Kiper said in that article with the mock draft. He said, speaking about the number 1 pick at league meetings 2 weeks ago, Titans coach Brian Callahan said, we're open to everything at this point. Tennessee certainly has options, especially if another team calls general manager Mike Borgonzi with a massive trade offer. I don't think that's happening. But the Titans don't have a franchise quarterback, and they have a chance to get one in Ward. To win in the NFL, you have to take those opportunities when they present themselves. And they always said, if the Titans got a phone call and it was an absolute haul, they'll trade the first pick. But after Cam Ward's pro day and even after the NFL Combine, that asking price, it absolutely skyrocketed to the point where if anybody would even think about trading for the first pick, like it would be a haul. The Titans would fleece them and they'd be set for the future, but nobody wanted to do that. Nobody still doesn't want to do that. You have 2 weeks, but I doubt that's going on. And we had one tweet come out. This is Giants. He's got some scoops. Slick Rick. If you watch Giants Now with Marshall Green, he'll say all about Slick Rick. And he said, as people have alluded to, Giants and Titans were working on a deal for the first pick at the NFL Combine, number 3 pick, and several 2025 and 2026 day 2 picks. Sticking point was the Titans wanted a 2026 first, but the Giants wouldn't do that, and they would continue to monitor. After hosting Cam, Titans were so impressed with him, they raised their asking price to also include a 2027 first. See, that's what I'm talking about, an absolute haul. The Giants haven't caved and probably won't. Browns also interested, but seem to be pivoting to Kirk Cousins, as been reported. Titans will likely stick and pick. And if you have this and it's too long, didn't read for you, you didn't want to hear all that, the Titans and Giants almost got a deal done at the Combine. Titans not moving off the pick. If they did, they'd need at least a 2025, 2026, and 2027 first-round pick. That is a haul. That is absolutely insane. But that just tells you in general how much the Titans loved Cam Ward. We saw it at the Pro Day, how happy Mike Borgonzi and Brian Callahan were when they were watching him throw the ball. We saw Cam Ward showing how much he wanted to be a Tennessee Titan, and that just upped the price. They even canceled their workout with Shedeur Sanders. They said, we've seen enough. We don't need to privately work out. We know who our quarterback is. And that just tells you, thank the Lord, the Will Levis experience is finally over. There was rumors that they were trying to find a trade for Will Levis, but I'm not really sure what you could get out of value for him. He was a second-round pick, and do you really want anything else than his? You're not going to get a second-round pick for Will Levis. He made so many mistakes in 2024. He got to the point where they benched him. They were like, all right, we're tired of him. He's shown talent, but overall, he's just not going to be your franchise guy. And I like Will Levis. Coming out of Kentucky, I loved him. But he's just shown that he is not a prototypical NFL quarterback. Good backup, but not a starter. And Mel Kiper said this. He said, I was a fan of Will Levis during the run-up to the 2023 draft, but he has made too many mistakes with the football over the past 2 seasons. 16 interceptions and 17 fumbles. And half of those, I'll tell you right now, They didn't have to be interceptions or fumbles, just forcing bad turnovers. And to prove he's the guy, it's time to upgrade. And Ward would bring to Nashville a big arm and ability to create outside of structure and good accuracy. Now with Cam Ward, it's a whole new regime. You brought in Mike Borgonzi, a new general manager. A new culture is starting here in Tennessee. And with that, you had to get a new guy under center. You had to bring in a new quarterback. And Cam Ward is the perfect guy for them to start. I mean, look at his stats over his career. He's been a very healthy quarterback. He went from Incarnate Ward. Great stats there. Then he went to Washington State. Brought that team to relevancy. 3,200. He's just getting better and better and better. And then 2024 with Miami, with Mario Cristobal in that offense, where he said if he was a plug-and-play guy, the system was exactly like Mario Cristobal's system in Miami as it is in Tennessee. And the box score doesn't also speak how good Cam Ward is. The advanced stats speak it too. 5.7% is his big-time throws, and he does not make any turnovers. 3.1 turnover-worthy plays. That's only the percentage. It's only 2 sacks. Like, this guy is a great quarterback, and when you give him time to throw the ball, and we saw Mike Borgonzi in NFL free agency, he loaded up that offensive line to make sure this quarterback is going to get protection. Ward in the pocket in 2024 with Miami was just great. When he's kept clean, when he gets to stand back there and look nonchalant, as he always does, basically 72% completion percentage, only 3 interceptions, 32 touchdowns. Now, when you're under pressure, 27.4%, that's not a lot. He had a good offensive line in Miami, 50% completion percentage. But when he's blitzed, he knows how to handle that blitz. 69% completion, only 3 interceptions. I'm very, very, very impressed with Cam Ward. But there's one thing. Don't expect the Titans to just jump out and compete in year one. This is a process. This is a rebuilding process. I don't expect them to just win 3 games, especially with a terrible, and I mean terrible AFC South. You're competing with Daniel Jones and the Colts. You're competing with the Jags. They just got a new coach and a new general manager. It's just like the Titans. They're rebuilding too. But I will say, this is Brian Callahan's one and only chance. If you don't show improvement from 2024 to 2025 with the complete new regime, with the new offensive line, with the new defense, with a new quarterback, you're gone. You're gone. Most of the time, general managers, when they keep the coach and they fire the GM, you have one opportunity to show that general manager, one opportunity to show Mike Borgonzi that you are going to be able to show that you can still be the head coach of this team. Like I said, new general managers have very short leashes with current coaches because general manager, that's not the guy he's hired. That's not the head coach he hired. You could get a new head coach in a year, and if Brian Callahan shows that he's not the guy with Cam Ward doesn't show improvement, doesn't show the Titans don't show improvement. If they don't win at least probably 6 or 7 games this year, I think they could go in and get a new head coach. But overall, it's a quarterback league. You need a quarterback in the NFL to win games. We saw it with the Washington Commanders. They got Jaden Daniels, and it was complete flip. Absolutely complete flip. They were a playoff team. They made it to the NFC Championship in 1 year with a rookie quarterback. The Titans could do the same thing once you get your franchise quarterback, and I think that they're making a great move and a great pick with taking Cam Ward, number 1. I'm already saying it's locked in. Unless there's some massive trade that comes in the next 2 weeks, then Cam Ward is going to be a Titan. So I'm going to tell you guys, if you're excited for Cam Ward to be a Tennessee Titan, go ahead, click that thumbs up icon, like the video. I'm trying to get at least 150 likes on this video. Cam Ward's going to be a Titan. How exciting is that? Now, before we get on to round 2 of Mel Kiper's NFL Draft, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show, and that is Game Time. I've been using Game Time since even before I was a Chat Sports employee. And if you use the promo code ChatSports when you download the Game Time app, you can get $20 off a ticket. The first basketball game that I went to, I used Game Time. It was back probably 3 years ago. You download the app and $20 off. $20 is a lot when you're going to get football tickets, basketball tickets, anything. One thing I really like about the Game Time is all their upfront pricing option. Toggling this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Plus, they offer the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and same row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. I know it's not football season, it's not Tennessee Titans season, but we still have hockey going on. We still have hockey. The Nashville Predators, you can still go and get a ticket. Go to Bridgestone Arena. That is a beautiful arena. And use the Game Time app, promo code ChatSports to get $20 off. And hey, if you're not a hockey fan, we're in MLS season. Nashville FC, they're a competitive team. I love seeing some classic football. Just make sure you use that promo code ChatSports when you download the app. Take guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. What time is it? Game time. All right, so we had our pick number 1, and that's Cam Ward. And then we'll go into pick number 35, the second round pick for the Tennessee Titans. Their 2 pick in the NFL draft. And it's, I'm not going to say his whole name, but he goes by Femi Oladejo. And I was very, very, very surprised on this pick. I mean, I was looking at some of the tape and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, solid 2024, 57 tackles, 4.5 sacks, but he was a backup in 2023 for UCLA. He has only been starter. He's only been a starter for 1 year. There are so many edge rushers that the Titans could have gotten, and we're going to get into that in a second. But I kind of felt Mel Kiper Jr. was a little lazy. I mean, he barely said anything in his article. He said this: here's the Titans' Harold Landry replacement. I thought it was Draymond Jones, to be honest. Tennessee was tied for 29th in sacks last season with 32, and then cut its top sack getter in Landry. Oladejo only had 4.5 sacks last season, but he had 29 pressures, and his tape shows burst and potential. I kind of think this is just a little reach. When you have the 35th pick, you got to go with a guy that is going to come in and bring absolutely effectiveness. Second-round picks aren't bad. Those are starters in the NFL. And if we look at his rankings, his draft rankings from everyone, NFL.com had him 84th. The NFL mock draft database had him 82nd, ESPN 55th, and PFF 102nd. What are we? I mean, Mel Kiper, you're a genius. I'll give it to you. But why are we taking Oladejo when this is the second or third pick? This is the, I got to do math here. This is the third pick in the second round of the NFL draft. If we look at his stats, I mean, they're solid. 2024, 57 tackles. He's a very solid player, but there are so many better options out there with the edge rusher. He was at Cal and then went to UCLA, 91 tackles in 2022. But they declined once he got to UCLA. And if we look at his relative athletic score, he didn't run the 40, he didn't run the 20-yard splits. But his weight, I mean, that's only half percentile, like 4 percentile. It is not that great. And if we look at his scouting report, I'm going to read this to you. This is Pro Football Focus's draft guide. Oladejo was a 3-star prospect who played his first 2 college seasons at Cal in an off-ball linebacker role. He improved his PFF defensive grade each year in college from 54.8 in 2021 to 56.4 in 2022 to 70.9 in 2023 and then 73.8 in 2024. After 2 seasons with the Golden Bears, Oladejo transferred to UCLA. It wasn't until 2 games into his senior season with the Bruins that he played the majority of his snaps in the edge role. So that means this is his first year playing edge. So he lacks experience and a formally formed pass rush repertoire. Oladejo impressed at Senior Bowl practices by winning the majority of his pass rush one-on-one reps. He's an inexperienced pass rusher that teams will want to take a chance on due to his athleticism and 33 3/8-inch arms. For me, you're completely drafting out of potential. I'd want a more established edge rusher. You're going like, okay, this guy could be a dog, but it's not a guarantee. This is pick 35. This isn't pick 75. You go with those potential draft picks later in the rounds, and you better hope that he is a guy because you don't have a third-round pick. The Titans don't have a third-round pick. You got to go waiting all the way until the fourth round. So obviously he would probably go in the third round, but you're getting a guy that when you have so many more edge rushers available, and I mean a ton more. I was looking through the PFF rankings. You saw it 112. It just, I don't know, man. Like, if you look at the top edge prospects, these are 5 guys that I would rather take. My guy in my mock draft, who I think is going to be a great edge prospect, and that's Landon Jackson. You can get Braden Swinson out of LSU, Jack Sawyer, Nick Scorton, but are we really going with Oladejo at pick 35? I mean, I guess. Sure, I don't mind it, but I just feel like you could get so many better edge rushers. So here is Mel Kiper's final mock draft. Titans' first pick is Cam Ward. Titans' second pick, Femi Oladejo. Greatest mock draft, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. That's all we have for Titans today. 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. How about that? 2 weeks. 2 weeks goes by in a second. So before then, just make sure you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Titans Today. I'm Brett Alper, and as always, tighten up.